This is Jeremiah. We're back again. We have another 30-minute segment. We're at 2023 agenda, sound doctrine matrix here. Okay, we're going to get into the matrix. The reason why I'm calling it sound doctrine matrix is because even though sound doctrine is the second category in this ministry, it's basically the main category. And we're going to spend most of our time throughout the rest of this ministry until the Master comes, who we love dearly. We seek to please the Master all the time, and when we don't, we're not happy with ourselves. That's what Christianity is. And the thing is that we're going to look at 2023 agenda, and this year I'm going to look at that right now, and we're at sound doctrine matrix, and probably the first component that I'm going to use is number 11, and that of course is living bread. Okay. Now let's get back to the introduction. This is Jeremiah with New Covenant, and you type in Jeremiah Michael Pearson at YouTube, or you can type in New Covenant at Rumble. Rumble looks like the future. I think Rumble's having some problems getting off the ground, as any organization would probably. They need somebody like my buddy Aaron. I have a tech genius friend who I haven't seen in a long time. I think he went to China, but I haven't heard from him. But he's Chinese. He's just a wonderful friend. He helped me in the previous ministry that I had online. He is a legitimate genius. He is a legitimate. He has tech degrees with Panasonic, and he knows how to fix so many things that it blows your mind. He told me he knew how to fix any cell service, like Sprint or something. He knew how to fix everything from the telephone to the transponder. He could fix the transponder, he said. An amazing young man who's not middle aged now. I met him in college. It's a very nice man, and if everybody in China was like him, I wouldn't mind moving there. But what a wonderful friend, Aaron. I have a nephew named Aaron. I haven't seen in a while, but Aaron is a wonderful person. Anyway, and of course his name is the first name in the Hebrew dictionary. Well, I mean, first name in the Hebrew dictionary from our perspective. From the Hebrew dictionary, it's the last name. Okay, if my memory is correct. Aaron means praises on high, and that's where we're going with this. The goal of this ministry is for you to be in heaven praising the Lord. Praise you, Jesus, in the presence of the Lord. That's the goal here. The goal is Aaron in Hebrew. For you to be praising in heaven. Let's get back to my lineup here. New Covenant is a Bible teaching, King James sound doctrine, red letter, Protestant, Northeast American, Quaker American situation here. And minister means servant. That's what I do here as a teacher. We are yoke fellows. We just talked about Paul talking about yoke fellows. That means that you're all tied to the same job or the same master. And you're working together as a team. And that team does what? We're here to take in God's energy and bind up the brokenhearted and set at liberty those that are captive, and to preach the gospel to those who are in darkness and to be a light to them. That's what we're here for. It's not a difficult task in general, and it can get difficult, but it won't be difficult in heaven, and so on. So let's continue. So Protestant every word based teachings are generally supplemental to pastors or bishops or somebody who run an entire church or something. I've always been an assistant to a couple of pastors in my life. We had a ministry to the jails, and I was in charge of that for a little while, but that wasn't very long. I think it got a little too violent. Something happened where But anyway, we'll let that go. But anyway, so but now I'm really full head on steam as a teacher, and I know that most teachers are visited online as a supplement and as something that they quick hit and leave and so forth. It's a hit, check it out, and leave kind of situation. But now I have music videos, and as a matter of fact, we have 100,000 hits on this channel. That's a lot of hits for somebody who doesn't advertise. Unfortunately, a lot of people are there for the romance videos, the Christian marriage, marriage is to be held in honor videos, which are stringed, 101 strings with Professor Howdy and that organization. Obviously, the 101 Strings organization, they don't mind him participating in sharing their music and spreading their music, and I'm pretty sure that they are Protestant Christian people who play those wonderful romance songs. I've been listening to those for 100 years, but I don't listen to them too much recently. I've been just too busy to do hardly anything. But that's good. It's good to be very busy doing the Lord's work. But I might listen to some of those 101 strings. Now, obviously, and I'll share this with you, that we're very happy that we were able to show those videos, and they have some really high definition. Now, they don't have the new super high definition, but it's really nice high definition. And they have the wonderful music there. Of course, it was done in a big-time professional studio, and they're big-time musicians, and what a wonderful job they did with those romance songs. And of course, they snuck in some Amazing Grace songs. That's one reason why I did that. We became as some that we might save some. But on the same token, it's okay for married people or people who are engaged to listen to a few romance songs. I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, there is a problem with people getting sad. That's going to happen. We don't want that. And there's also a problem with a couple of other issues. Some of the words of some of these songs in America are what we might call mental retardation. However, we're gonna let that slide. I can give a critique on these songs, on the secular songs, because some of them are secular, some of them are like half secular, half Christian, kind of. Cole Porter wrote some of those songs. He used to live right around the corner here. I mean, we're not here to be puritanical, as a friend used to tell me, whatever. We're here to be pure. That's the third term of last year. It was beauty, heaven, and purity. Then we added beloved as the four main terms for last year. We emphasize those ideas big time here. Now, this year is sound doctrine, and we'll probably put living bread right next to that, and wisdom, and then we're going to build on the entire Bible here. We've already had chapters 1 through 13 of Matthew, and quite a few other. We've browsed quite a few other chapters in this Bible, and we're going to start browsing through the entire New Testament, and I'm going to start categorizing everything. I'm going to have to do it in a quick manner in order to get through the Bible, but we're going to do that this year. Probably we're going to try to get through the New Testament, and it's going to be a big job. I'll have you read the chapter, and then I'll point out some of the numbers in this ministry, such as grace and mercy, which is number 4 in this ministry, and I'll point that out and give you the context, which is 10 in this ministry, context. And point out how it might be a little different usage in this particular context than it is in the other usage of the word in David's discourse. I've already done that with blessed. To give you an example, it's already up on this channel, where I talk about the word blessed, and we read through some of the scriptures on the word blessed, and I talk about context and how the word is awfully broad. And how we have basically two interpretations of the word, and they're both correct. The master redefines the word blessed, and it becomes something concrete, and it becomes something that is not what you might call what the Old Testament use of that term was. We'll be doing that here, which is not of minor significance. For example, the change from the Old Testament to the New Testament to the usage of the word blessed is extremely significant. Most of the people I talk to who are Christians, and even some Bible teachers I know, they don't understand what I just told you pertaining to the word blessed, and it went over them. They missed it. We're not saying anything negative necessarily about it, but the point is that they're missing a very significant part of Christianity when you miss the differentiation between the basic usage of the word blessed in the Old Testament and what the master uses it for. He doesn't obliterate the usage of the Old Testament, but he does change the narrative. And he puts it in stone. That's the first word he used when teaching the masses, was blessed. You might say blessed. That's the first word he used. That's the first word David used in Psalm chapter 1, verse 1. So the grandfather is just like the grandson. However, the context is different from David and the master, his great-grandson, who we serve and love with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. I'm not going to go into the blessed right now, into the word blessed, but I'm just telling you that that's what we do here, and we're going to be doing a lot of that. That's number 10 in this ministry, where we define words. There's no need in going into Bible study if you don't know words. We're just rambling. In general, we might get some things from a gestalt or something down the road thing, but let's get back to this. We talk about the music and how 100,000 people have come here in only a couple of months. Might be 70,000. I was adding up, and I may have added up the numbers wrong, but who knows what it'll be next year with 200,000, 500,000 people. It'll probably taper off. There are only so many people in the pool of Protestant conservative type people who are Indiana type people who are going to be inclined to even look into sound doctrine and Protestantism. Most of the people who declare themselves to be Christians are not necessarily Christians. They're Catholics. They're demonic witnesses. They're Latter-day Devils or something. They're Latter-day Saints. They call themselves. Or they're, who knows. Now, originally in the United States, 1850, 1900, there may have been thousands and thousands of Protestant Quakers in the United States. But that ain't the case now. People who are devoted to Christianity and Bible study, and like these women and these men, I see walking into the grocery store around here, with the women have long dresses on, the men don't wear tank tops with muscles flexing and tattoos, with hats on, whatever. There's only a few of those. And those are what? That's common sense. That those are the genuine article people. The people who go to Starbucks and so forth, half dressed or not dressed properly, they may not be saved. That's the point. We hope everybody's saved. That's not my point. But if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably is a duck. That's the point. This ministry is in full swing. We have hymns up there now. I'm very happy with them. I mentioned the music. Go back to the music for a moment. I mentioned the music here and how professionally and well done those guys got the best people. I mean, compared to my music is definitely mediocre, to say the least, compared to those guys. But then again, I don't try too many things. They have multiple harmonies. The orchestrator has a first inversion C in the bass violin or the cello, and you go up to the violins and the violas. He's playing an F major chord, which is a 9, 11, 13, and then the high strings and flutes are playing some twiddle, twiddle, twiddle in another chord. And you have to study that stuff to do that stuff. That's music theory on steroids. I'm kind of Mickey Mouse with music. I was told by some people who know famous people that my music was actually not as bad as I thought it was, and they really liked it, wanted to use it, and so forth. So, but I've never really gotten into the world and all of that. I only play for the church. I made some secular songs that people were interested in, but and even some of the church songs. But I don't have time for the world. I do not love the world. I'm very patriotic. I have hundreds of patriotic movies. I enjoy them here in the United States. Wake Island, the Bismarck. That's a really good movie for Western civilization and what we call Western civilization and the Ten Commandment people of England and the United States, and add a little bit of Europe. But here's the point. We're in full swing right now, and the music, as far as that goes, my music is, I think it's okay. I did, we worked on it, and it is in time, more or less, and in key, so, and it's a lot of hymns, but they're instrumentals, and we put the words up there, and some of the people are learning the words, and they're listening. I might redo those songs and put the words in there and sing them a little bit. But let's move on. So I welcome you to this channel, and of course I have a feeling that they're going to get Rumble together, and you can go to Rumble and enjoy some things that we're going to be putting up there. I think Rumble, if the Lord doesn't come back, and we say that with a sad note, because all we think about here most of the time is number 14 in this ministry, which is the rapture, which is tied into number 1, which is the agape love of Jesus Christ. Okay, that's like the main theme here. The reason for the study, the reason for denial, the reason for carrying a cross is so that you can be with the Master. Eternally. And that's the rapture. That's category 14 here. We'll be harping on 14 until the cows come home. That's tied into number 1, which is owning and understanding and explaining the love of Jesus Christ and how it's high love and high intelligence. That's number 1 here. And that brings joy, and that takes you to the rest of the Bible study that we have here. It takes you especially to the blessed hope. And the blessed hope is grace, mercy, peace, and rest. And then we have faith, hope, and love. That's number 4 here. Well, I'm sorry, that's number 5. Faith, hope, love, and explaining what faith is. What is the word faithing? What is the word not faithing, or heathen, agnostic, or atheist? We'll be going through all of that here. And we'll harp on it, because that's what Christianity is. Getting to the good stuff and parking right there, you know. Like my mother's Thanksgiving dinners. I didn't want to get up. Did you want to get up? If indeed you were favored with such an experience. I didn't want to get up. I wanted to finish the whole darn plate. We're in full swing here. Welcome to the channel. Sound doctrine phase is what we're getting into now. We'll be going into 52 categories, and I'm going to help you with that. It's going to be easy as pie, and I'm going to enjoy this. I mean, this is your life here. This is my life. The Word of God. That's our life. It's intellectualism. Is there anything wrong with intellectualism? I don't think so. When I went to college, let me share something with you. When I went to college, I encountered a lot of professors in philosophy courses. Remember, the word philosophy is basically what the world is. It means personal intelligence. It means something that you like, that's out there, that is knowledge, and you have made it your friend, more or less. You know, you're very happy with it. That's what philosophy means. Now, it doesn't mean that necessarily in application, but that's what it means as far as the cognate is. We'll look at it from that perspective. And that is also applicable to many of the usage that people in the world use it too. But let's get back to what we're talking about here, which is the philosophy of the Bible is what God considers intelligence and what God considers to be the truth and true knowledge. And therefore, that's what it is. It is intellectualism. And when I went to college, I found myself in classrooms, and I really enjoyed listening to the world kind of ramble on. I have education in multiple universities, and I didn't mind listening to a lot of secular professors. It didn't bother me that much. I didn't listen to a whole lot of them anyway, or to but I did listen to quite a few off and on, and African teachers on African ethnocentrics this, and psychology, philosophy, theater philosophy. Art philosophy, creativity, and the science of the mind or something, and Derrida, I don't know how you pronounce his name, or Saussure, and Baudelaire, and I went through a lot of that stuff. But when I went in there, I became the head kingpin. And it wasn't because of me, it was because of the Bible. That goes for science too. That's 15 in this ministry. I have a gazillion videos on science up right now. Well, not a gazillion, whatever gazillion means. But I have a lot of videos up on science, and it's real science. It ain't fake. It ain't something that's going to pass away in 100 years from now, should the Lord tarry, which He's not going to do. It's not biblical, but I'm just saying, theoretically, or hypothetically, or I don't even think that's applicable, but because it has no realm of, There's no realm of reality talking in these realms or in these terms. Now, I mentioned that we have 52 categories here. Of course, it's going to get a little confusing, but you'll get it as time goes on. We have paratext, subtext, and we combine text, and and that's what makes line upon line, precept upon precept, topical and multi-topical, and all of this. And this ministry is basically for all ages. I have this ministry right now, this channel, not my previous channel, but I have this channel available for all ages. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I want teenagers to have access to this ministry. This is what we call main sanctuary teaching in some churches that I used to attend. It's called main sanctuary teaching, where the students and the young people, they go to grade level Sunday school, and that's where they stay. I think that's really nice. However, there are some problems with that, I think. But I do like the main sanctuary adult situation, and it's not something that is a big problem, but I would prefer ages 10, 12, 11 have access to this. Younger people, they're not going to be much interested in this anyway, but the point is that we're not going to do anything that's not G-rated here and so forth. And as a matter of fact, we're going to really tone everything down. I don't want to mention pernicious or malicious stuff here at all, hardly at all. We will mention a few things, but only in brevity. Now, what is the New Covenant significance for 2,000 years? Let me share that with you. The significance of calling this ministry New Covenant is based upon the gospel and the teachings of the Bible are going to introduce and expose by people like me, Jesus Christ. Jesus saves, and that makes us messengers, and that makes us evangelists or new angels, and we teach the commandments and the meaning of the commandments. That's where usually this goes. Where sound doctrine usually starts is number 11, which is living bread, which are commandments. Okay? And we're going to go through those. Not today. I'm not going to go through it today. But the subsequent videos that you can see here, I'm going to address that. Okay? What I just said. And I'll go over one more time. This is New Covenant, and the significance is for 2,000 years, the gospel and the teachings of the Bible and the King James, it's been available. Not the King James, by the way, but the Bible and Christianity have been available to a lot of people, and that's what God wanted. He wanted them to have the availability of sure salvation, and He did it legally, and He did it in real time. So that He could have living stones, He could have living converts in real time, who actually could make up their own mind, more or less, whether they wanted to love God or not love God. That is the question. Whether they wanted to turn to the truth and away from lies and embrace kindness and care and honesty and on and on and on. Is that what you want? Now, we share Jesus, that He saves here, and we teach the commandments and the meaning of the commandments. We explain the commandments. We'll go into that later. Because sound doctrine first goes to commandments. It goes to history, it goes to prophecy, it goes to many different kinds of confidences that we have as Christians in the Christian faith, and I go through those, but what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that we're going to go through everything, and it's within the sound doctrine framework and the template for Bible teaching. It's not that difficult. and Jesus saves, Jesus saves. We have a lot of very simple things here. Jesus loves me, this I know. We have a lot of very simple things that we repeat here. Not everything is multi-tiered or complicated, but some things do get a little complicated. Kindergarten's over, you're an adult. It's time to start concentrating. It is a demand from the Lord Jesus Christ that you love him with your mind, all of your mind. That's part of the royals here. Number 3. With all of your mind. That's it. We'll be right back. I'm going to have one more segment. And we'll probably finish the introduction on 3 videos. And then I have another extended introduction on what the New Covenant means. What is the New Covenant matrix? And how is that related to sound doctrine? And I have living bread, I have sound doctrine, and I have wisdom up here. And I'll probably focus on those 3, but probably not today. I'm just going to finish the introduction today. I will not get to sound doctrine the sound doctrine matrix today. From me in my real time here. But as far as the videos goes, I shouldn't even mention it because you're going to be at another time. You're not in my real time. And anyway, I'll be right back. Maranatha.